The night was cold. Wind howled through the dark alley of the alien city. Trash blew across the ground. A faint noise came from a corner, something like a cough, soft and weak. No one looked. No one cared. A small alien girl lay between piles of metal scraps. Her skin was pale, almost gray. Her eyes were dull. She wore thin cloth, dirty and torn. On her wrist was a red tag. It said in bold letters, "Too ill to save." 2 alien guards had dropped her here hours ago. They didn't say a word. She had once lived in a tall, clean building, full of lights. But now, she was garbage. Her chest rose slowly. Each breath was a fight. Her body shook. She didn't cry anymore. There were no tears left. Across the street, footsteps echoed. A man walked with a small light on his shoulder. He wore a heavy coat, boots covered in dirt and grease. He was human, one of the few allowed in this part of the galaxy. His name was Liam. Liam was a mechanic. He fixed things others threw away machines, broken wires, rusted tools. Tonight, he was walking home from a job, tired and hungry, but he stopped. He heard something. He turned and saw a small shape in the trash. He moved closer. At first, he thought it was a broken bot. Then the shape moved. It coughed again. Liam dropped to one knee. "Hey," he whispered. "Are you alive?" The alien girl opened her eyes slowly. They were large, silver, and full of fear. She didn't speak. She couldn't. Liam looked around. No one was watching. He touched her wrist, reading the red tag. "Too ill to save," he said quietly. "That's not your name." She flinched as he tried to help her sit up. Her body was too weak. "You're freezing," Liam said. He took off his coat and wrapped it around her. She was shaking badly. Liam looked into her eyes. He couldn't leave her. He didn't care if it was dangerous. She was just a girl, alone, sick, left to die. He picked her up gently. She was light to light. Her bones felt like sticks. "I got you," he said softly. As he carried her through back alleys, he felt her head rest on his chest. Her breath was slow, but it was there. Liam's home was small and hidden. It was under his repair shop, far from city eyes. He laid her on a warm cot, covered her with blankets, and placed a heater nearby. She didn't wake up. He cleaned her cuts, gave her water, and made a soft soup. He didn't know if she could eat it. He just hoped. Later that night, she opened her eyes again. She looked at him, confused, scared. "It's okay," Liam said. "You're safe now." She tried to speak, but no sound came. Only her lips moved. Liam brought a small tablet. He gave her a pen. She held it with shaking hands and wrote slowly. "Why?" Liam smiled sadly. "Because you're not trash." She blinked. For the first time, something changed in her eyes. Not hope, not yet, but something warmer than fear. He looked at the tag still on her wrist. Gently, he removed it. "What's your name?" he asked. Her hands trembled. She wrote one word, "Nova." Liam nodded. "Nova, that's a beautiful name." She stared at him. No one had called her that in a long time. No one had looked at her like she mattered. Outside, the wind kept blowing, but inside, for the first time in days, Nova was warm. She closed her eyes, and this time, it wasn't because of pain. It was sleep. But, as she drifted off, she whispered one name under her breath. Liam leaned close, but he only caught part of it. "Keller?" Liam frowned. "Who's Keller?" he asked, but she was already asleep. He sat beside her, confused and worried. Who was this girl? Why was she really thrown away? And what would happen if others found out she was still alive? He didn't know yet, but deep in his heart, Liam knew one thing. He was not going to let her die. Morning light touched the broken windows of Liam's underground shop. Inside, it was quiet. Nova lay on the cot, breathing slowly. Her face looked calmer, but her skin was still pale. The warmth of the heater helped, but not enough. She needed real medical help. Liam stared at her from across the room, drinking cold coffee. His hands were dirty with grease, but his mind wasn't thinking about machines. He was thinking about her. Nova, he whispered again. The name felt heavy now, like a secret too big to hold. Suddenly, Nova began to cough. Not just a small cough, but deep, painful, shaking her whole body. Liam dropped the cup and rushed to her side. Nova, breathe. You're okay? I'm here, he said, placing his hand on her back gently. Her eyes opened wide. She looked terrified, like she didn't know where she was. You're safe, Liam said again, slowly and clearly. You're not outside anymore. She calmed just a little, but Liam knew the truth now. Her illness wasn't just bad. It was dangerous. Maybe deadly. He looked at the datapad beside her bed. Last night, she had written only one word, but it wouldn't leave his mind. Keller. He didn't know if that was her family, or someone else, but he had to do something before it was too late. Liam moved quickly. He opened a locked box under his workbench and pulled out a thick device. It looked old, with wires hanging from it, but it still worked. He tapped the screen, then spoke into it. Doc Myro, this is Liam. I need help, urgent. There was silence. Then a voice crackled through. You know the rules, Liam. I don't treat anyone anymore. Not after the purge. She's a child, Liam said firmly. She's dying. She has a name. Nova? The voice sighed. Human or alien? Alien. But she's more than that. Please, Doc. A long pause. Bring her in an hour, the voice replied. Don't be seen. Liam packed quickly. He dressed Nova in clean clothes, covered her in a warm blanket, and placed her gently in a hovercart he used for broken engines. She was too weak to walk. Her head rested on a pillow. She looked up at him, barely awake. It's okay, Liam said with a soft smile. We're going somewhere safe. The streets above were crowded. Alien vendors shouted at each other. Drones flew overhead, and patrol bots scanned faces. Liam kept his head down. The hovercart moved slowly. Every second felt dangerous. They passed a checkpoint. A red light flashed. A bot turned toward them. Liam froze. Cart registration required, the bot said in a cold voice. Liam nodded calmly. Sorry, it's just scrap. I'll turn back. He reversed slowly, then turned into a side alley and moved faster. Nova opened her eyes. Danger, she whispered weakly. Yeah, Liam said, but we're almost there. Doc Myro lived in a forgotten level below the city deep, where only old machines lived. His clinic was dusty, filled with strange tools, but it was safe. Liam carried Nova inside. Myro, a tall alien with silver eyes, looked her over without speaking at first. Then he said, She's not just sick. This is something rare? What do you mean? Liam asked. Myro scanned her with a glowing tool. This isn't a natural illness. It's been modified, engineered. Liam's heart dropped. So someone made her sick? No. Someone tried to cure something else through her. Nova opened her eyes. Her lips trembled. She tried to speak but failed. She needs rest, medicine, and time, Myro said. But there's something else. You better keep her hidden. Why? Because if someone finds out she's still alive, they'll come, not to help, but to erase her. Liam stayed with Nova that night in the small room Myro gave them. He watched her sleep. He cleaned her face. He changed her bandages, dot in the soft light. She looked peaceful like a star, trying to shine again after being covered in darkness. He whispered, You're safe now, Nova. I won't let anyone hurt you. Nova stirred in her sleep, and for the first time, she reached for his hand. Liam didn't move. He just held on, because something had changed. This wasn't just a rescue anymore. It was the beginning of something bigger. Nova sat near the window, watching the soft light rise through the underground vents. The air smelled of metal and old dust, but it was quiet here, safe for now. She had been awake for hours, but she didn't speak. Her body still felt weak, but her mind was running. Memories, pain, fear. Everything mixed inside her. Liam brought her a warm drink. "It's sweet root tea," he said. "Might help." She took the cup slowly with both hands. Her fingers still shook, but she smiled a little. Just a little. Liam sat on a crate nearby. He didn't push her to talk. He just waited, quiet, calm. Finally, Nova looked at him. Her voice was soft and broken. "You don't know who I am, do you?" Liam shook his head. "No, but I'm guessing you're not just some sick girl they dumped." She looked down at her cup. Her eyes darkened. "They didn't throw me away because I was weak. They threw me away because I was important." Liam leaned forward. "Tell me." Nova took a deep breath. "I was born in House Keller. It's one of the royal science families. My mother is still on the High Council." Liam's eyebrows raised. "A council member's daughter." She nodded. "They never wanted me. I was born during a storm. Early, small, sick. But I had something strange in my blood. A mutation. At first, they called it the future." Liam frowned. "Future. They tested me every day. Injected me with things. Modified my cells. They said I could be the answer to disease. The first to carry healing code in her DNA." Liam's voice dropped. "You were an experiment." Nova nodded. "They kept saying I was special, important. But when the treatment started hurting, when I screamed in the labs, they said I was broken." She placed the cup aside and curled her knees to her chest. "One day, they came into my room with silence. No words. They tagged me. They said I was too ill, a failed subject. No use left. That night, they dropped me in the waste sector." Liam was speechless. His hands curled into fists. "How can your own family do that?" he asked quietly. Nova looked away. "To them, I wasn't family. I was a project. And when a project fails, they erase it." A silence grew between them. Then Liam stood up and grabbed the red tag she had once worn. It still sat on the shelf. He held it up. "You are not this. You never were." Nova looked at him with wide eyes. "You're not failed," Liam said. "They are. You're alive. You're here. That matters." A tear slipped from Nova's eye. She quickly wiped it away. "They won't stop. If they find out I survived, they'll come again." Liam nodded. "Let them come. I'm not afraid." She gave him a look. "You should be. They have power. Ships, soldiers." Liam stepped closer. "I have something too." "What?" "A promise. To protect you." Nova blinked. Her lips parted, but no words came. Then slowly, her hand reached out. She touched his hand. "I believe you," she whispered. Later that night, Nova sat with Liam's datapad, typing slowly. She showed him a small symbol, an ancient family seal of House Keller. "This," she said, "is their mark. If you see this on anything, it means they're close." Liam memorized it. She added, "They use drones. Quiet ones. They scan for genetic signals. I think they're already searching." Liam stood and checked his tools. "Then we stay one step ahead." Nova nodded, but in her eyes, something new appeared. Not just fear, but trust. Hours later, as Liam fixed a broken power cell nearby, Nova rested her head on the pillow. For the first time in weeks, her body felt warm, her stomach full. But in her heart was something stronger than fear. Hope a man she didn't know had saved her, not for money, not for reward, but because he cared. She whispered before sleep took her, "Thank you, Liam." Liam woke with a jolt. The lights in the underground clinic flickered above his head. The heater hummed softly. Everything seemed quiet until he heard it. A choking sound. He turned fast. Nova was on the cot, curled up, her body shaking. Her eyes were wide open, but she wasn't seeing the room. She was gasping for air fast, shallow breaths. Nova. Liam rushed to her. Her lips were turning blue. Her hands grabbed at her chest. She looked like she was drowning without water. "Doc," Liam shouted. "Come quick." Dr. Myro ran in, holding a scanner. He moved fast, placing devices on Nova's arms and neck. The screen showed red lines flashing. Her vitals were crashing. "She's in systemic shock," Myro said quickly. The virus inside hers, something triggered it. Maybe stress. Maybe memory. Maybe her body's rejecting the treatment we started. Liam's heart pounded. "Can you save her?" Myro didn't answer. He just worked faster. Nova's vision blurred. Everything was spinning. Her head throbbed. Her chest burned. She heard voices, but they were far away, like echoes underwater. She saw her mother, her cold face. "The last day in the white lab. You were our last chance, Nova," the voice said, "and you failed." Then darkness. Liam held her hand the whole time, even when she couldn't see him. Even when her body twisted from pain. Even when she screamed and passed out. He didn't let go. "Stay with me, Nova," he whispered over and over. "Please don't go." 3 hours passed. Dr. Myro finally stepped back, wiping his forehead. He looked exhausted. His tools buzzed and beeped quietly. "She's stable," he said. Liam let out a breath he had been holding for too long. "But," Myro added, "her body can't take another attack like this. The virus is woven into her cells. It's not just making her sick, it is part of her now." Liam stared at Nova's face. She was pale again, sweating, but breathing. "There has to be a way," he said. "I gave her a synthetic stabilizer. It will keep her body balanced, but only for a short time. If the virus mutates again, I don't know if I can stop it." Liam sat beside her, still holding her hand. "Then we find another way. I'm not letting her die." Miro gave him a look. "You're risking a lot, Liam. She's not just a sick girl anymore. If anyone finds out what she carries, what she is, they won't just come for her. They'll come for me," Liam finished. He looked back at Nova, his voice calm but firm. "Let them come." Hours later, Nova woke. Her eyes fluttered open. She saw blurry shapes, then Liam's face. Tired, worried, but smiling. "You made it," he said. She blinked. Her voice was rough. "Thought I was gone. You almost were." She swallowed hard. "I saw them. My family. The labs. The pain." Liam shook his head. "You're not there anymore. You're here. With me." Nova tried to sit up, but her body was too weak. She leaned back down, frustrated. "I hate this," she whispered. "I feel broken." "You're not broken," Liam said. "You're strong. You survived everything they did to you. That's not weakness, Nova. That's power." She stared at him, eyes shining. "Why do you care so much?" Liam paused. He didn't know the full answer. Maybe it was the way she fought to live. Maybe it was the pain she never deserved. Or maybe it was something more. He just said, "Because someone has to." That night, Nova couldn't sleep. She watched Liam from her bed. He was working on a small device. It looked like a scanner, but older. He noticed her looking. "It's a blocker," he explained, "to hide your signal from drones. I found it in an old smuggler's box." Nova smiled faintly. "You think of everything." Liam shrugged. "Just fixing what I can." She turned her face toward him. "You've given me more than just medicine or safety." Liam looked confused. "What do you mean?" Nova's voice was soft. "You gave me something I thought I lost forever." "What?" She smiled sadly. "A reason to live." It started with a soft hum. barely a sound. Liam didn't notice it at first. He was tightening wires on the signal blocker while Nova slept peacefully. But then he saw the shadow move across the far wall. A flicker, a glide. Too smooth to be natural. He stood up quickly, eyes sharp. Outside the vents, a small drone floated past, silent, black, and watching. Liam's blood went cold. He turned off every light in the room. He rushed to the window, heart pounding. The drone paused mid-air. Then, it blinked red once. Scan complete. Liam cursed under his breath. No, no, no. Nova woke with a start. She saw Liam standing frozen in the shadows, holding his breath. What happened? She whispered. Drone, he said quietly. It scanned us. Her eyes widened. Keller's trackers. Could be. Or bounty hunters. Doesn't matter. They know you're alive now. Minutes later, Liam was packing fast. He threw tools, dataships, clothes into a worn backpack. He helped Nova into a jacket and wrapped her in a thick blanket. I can walk, she said, trying to stand on her own. He caught her gently. No pushing yourself. We move fast, but careful. Nova nodded. Her legs were still shaky, but her will was stronger now. They left through the back tunnel, a narrow path lit by old emergency lights. The air smelled like rust and old oil. Their footsteps echoed. Every corner felt dangerous now. Every noise felt like a weapon. Above ground, ships passed overhead. Patrols were on alert. Alien broadcasts buzzed through loudspeakers. All citizens, report unusual human activity in Zone 7. Suspect, human male with female Keller subject. High value. Nova's face turned pale. They know my house. They know you now. Liam placed a hand on her shoulder. They can know my name. They're not taking you. They reached the old lift station, hidden behind a junkyard wall. Liam pushed buttons fast. The lift creaked and lowered them into darkness. Nova leaned against the wall, breathing hard. I'm sorry, she whispered. I brought this to you. Liam looked at her with calm eyes. You didn't bring anything to me. I chose this. I'll do it again. Nova looked down, quiet, but deep inside her, something warm grew stronger. At the bottom of the shaft, Liam opened a rusted door. Behind it was an old transport bike, half covered in dust, but still functional. We ride to the outer edge, Liam said. I know a place. Quiet. Safe. Nova climbed behind him, wrapping her arms around his waist. Her heart was racing, not from fear, but from trust, as they rode through underground highways. Old lights blinked to life above them. The engine echoed in the empty tunnels. They passed long-forgotten shops, broken machines, and ancient statues from wars long past. Nova spoke softly. I remember when my world was full of light. Big towers, fancy food, everyone smiling. Liam nodded, and then they turned their backs on you. She held tighter. You never did. Suddenly, a blast lit up behind them. The wall exploded. A hunting drone burst through the dust, red eyes glowing. They found us, Nova shouted. Liam increased speed. The tunnel bent sharply. The drone chased close-firing warning shots. Sparks rained down. Liam threw a small EMP spike behind them. It beeped and exploded in blue light. The drone spiraled and hit the wall. They didn't stop. Finally, they reached the edge, a hidden valley below the city ruins, overgrown with green vines and glowing mushrooms. A small shack sat in the center. This is it, Liam said, breathing hard. We rest here. Regroup. Nova stepped down, legs weak, but steady. She looked around the quiet valley. Birds sang. Water flowed from a nearby spring. Peace. For now. She turned to Liam. They're not going to stop, are they? He shook his head. No, but neither will I. Nova smiled faintly. Then maybe we fight. Together. The valley was silent. After days of fear, running, and hiding. Nova could finally breathe without shaking. The air smelled like flowers and old earth. Gentle winds moved the tall grass. A river nearby whispered over smooth stones. It was a place the city had forgotten, and maybe that was why it felt like home. Liam stood near the shack, fixing a solar panel. His hands worked fast, but his eyes kept checking on Nova. She sat on a blanket under a tree, legs crossed, eyes closed. For the first time in weeks, sunlight touched her face. Her skin had color again. Her breathing was steady. Even her eyes, once dull and tired, now sparkled like the stars she used to dream about. Liam walked over and handed her a cup of clean water. "How are you feeling?" Nova smiled. "Better, like I'm not dying anymore." "That's good," he chuckled. "Let's keep it that way." Over the next few days, they built a rhythm. Nova helped with light repairs. Liam taught her how to use human tools. She showed him how to scan the air for drone signals. They cooked simple meals. They talked about stars, machines, and music. She even laughed once, just a short laugh, but real. Each night, they sat near the fire outside the shack. Nova leaned against Liam's shoulder, wrapped in a blanket. "I never thought I'd feel safe again," she said softly. "You are safe," he replied. "Here, no one knows. No one watches." But deep in his mind, Liam wondered for how long. One morning, Nova was bending down to pick some herbs near the river when she felt something strange. A light dizziness, a flutter in her stomach. She sat down quickly. Liam ran over. "Nova, are you okay?" She nodded slowly. "I just feel different." He helped her back to the shack. "Rest," he said. "Maybe it's just the food or the air." But Nova didn't rest. She opened the old medical scanner Liam kept. Slowly, she pressed it to her abdomen. The screen flashed, scanned, then stopped. Her hands shook. She called out, "Liam?" He came quickly and looked at the screen. There, blinking softly, was a small pulse, a heartbeat, not hers. Something new, something alive. Liam stared at it, then at her. Nova's voice broke the silence. I think I'm carrying your child." The words hung in the air, like thunder. He took a step back. "Are you sure?" She nodded slowly. "It's not from the labs. It's not artificial. It's real. It's ours." Liam sat down hard. His mind raced. "But how? I mean, we didn't?" Nova looked at him, calm and serious. "You saved me. You gave me warmth, hope. My body changed. It healed. The virus weakened. And something beautiful happened." They both sat in silence. Then Liam whispered, "Nova, if they find out Tiff, your family knows you're pregnant. They'll come again," she finished. "This child, they won't see it as a baby. They'll see it as a weapon, a mistake." Liam reached out and held her hands. "Then we protect it, no matter what." Nova looked down at her belly, still flat, still quiet, but different now. Inside her, a life was growing, not created in a lab, not forced by science, but made from care, from trust, from something close to love. That night, Liam couldn't sleep. He sat outside the shack, watching the stars. He thought about the baby, about Nova, about the world that wanted to destroy both. He made a choice. If he had to run again, he would. If he had to fight, he would. But he would never leave them behind. Inside, Nova placed her hand gently over her stomach. She didn't know what the future would bring. But for the first time, she wasn't afraid of it. She whispered, "You are the reason I lived, and now I will live for you." Asterisk, the stars above the valley blinked quietly. Nova sat by the river, one hand resting gently on her belly. The wind brushed her hair back, and her eyes looked far across the sky toward the stars she once feared, but now hoped to reach again. Inside the shack, Liam prepared a small transmitter. He hadn't used it in years. Its metal was rusted, wires patched by hand, but it still worked. He looked out at Nova, heart heavy with thoughts. They had been safe here for 3 weeks. No drones, no soldiers, no signals. The baby's pulse had grown stronger. Nova's body healed more every day. She smiled more now, laughed even, but peace never lasts forever. And this one was running out. That evening, Liam showed Nova the transmitter. "I've made a choice," he said quietly. "We can't keep hiding." Nova stood still. "Liam, they'll find us eventually. Your family, the bounty squads, the labs. And if they find us without warning, we won't survive. You won't survive." She looked at him, confused. "Then what are you saying?" Liam took a breath. "I'm going to tell the galaxy." Her eyes widened. "I'll broadcast the truth," he said. "Who you are, what they did to you, and that you're carrying life." Nova sat down slowly, her hands trembling. "You want to make it public?" "I want to make it impossible for them to kill you in silence," Liam replied. "If billions are watching, they'll think twice." Nova was silent for a long time. Then she looked at him with strong, clear eyes. "Then let's do it together." The next day, they set up the old camera drone. Liam adjusted the lens. Nova stood in front of the firelit shack. Her face was calm, her voice steady. She began, "My name is Nova Keller. I was born into a family that called itself powerful. But when I was sick, when I became something they couldn't control, they threw me away. I was left to die, tagged like trash, labeled as too ill to save. But a human found me. He didn't know my name. He didn't know my past. He only knew I needed help. He gave me food, warmth, safety, and slowly, my body began to heal. Today, I am alive, and not just alive. I carry life. A child created not by science, not by force, but by care, by trust, by love. And this child will not be erased, not by fear, not by power, because this child is hope." She looked straight into the lens. "To the council watching this, you failed me, but you won't fail this child. If you come again, you won't face silence. You'll face every voice that hears me now. To the galaxy, I am proof that kindness still lives, and sometimes all it takes is one human." The camera shut off. Liam uploaded the message to every old channel he could reach. Pirate signals, open feeds, even military threads. Then, they waited. By the next day, everything changed. Messages flooded in. From planets Liam had never heard of. From rebels, medics, scholars, farmers, exiles. Some called her brave, others called her dangerous. But all of them were watching. Then came the ships. Not warships, support. Vessels, medical teams, diplomats. Even a few Keller family defectors. One ambassador said, "The galaxy is tired of secrets. Let the girl speak. Let the child live." Nova stood beside Liam as lights filled the valley sky. For once, they weren't being hunted. They were being heard. She turned to him and whispered, "I was supposed to die in a trash heap." He smiled and held her close. "But you didn't." She placed his hand on her belly. "Now I carry a future, and you gave it to me." "No," he said gently. "You gave it to us." In the distance, ships hovered silently. The stars no longer seemed cold. The wind no longer felt empty. Nova wasn't just surviving now. She was leading a change, and the child inside her was no longer a secret. It was a symbol, a spark, a beginning.